Well, hello everybody and welcome to Daytona International Speedway for round 2 of the 2022 Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship. This is the first time we're doing a full oval discipline race. Welcome to the Simply Catnip 200. My name is Andrew Mather. Alongside me in the virtual DDMM commentary box, as always, is Mr. Howard Mitchell. Howard, we're back here once again at Daytona. We were here for round 1 on the road course, but it's going to be a very, very different feel of racing here tonight in the NASCARs round the full oval circuit.
Yes, hello everybody, hello Andrew. It is going to be something, well, I'd say now for something completely different. It is the first time that we're here in a championship form for oval racing. We did have a special event that was non-championship event last year where there was a bit of oval racing, but for a lot of people this is, well, I was about to say a voyage into the unknown. There's been plenty of practice going on. Mark my words going into this one, folks, because this is something a bit different for a lot of the drivers who compete with us in the Club 100 iRacing Championship, and it's going to be a really enthralling round of racing here with our Simply Catnip 200 event, because, yeah, as you say, it's uncharted territory for the championship at least, and it just points to the variety that we've got on offer in our 2022 iRacing Championship. And here we are, round 2, just round 2, and we're doing a discipline that has never been done before in this championship proper.
Before we get underway, we have got big thanks for tonight for our series sponsors, G3 Pro, long-term sponsors of the championship, Club 100 and the BUKC, of course, running this series with their permission, with their name. And of course, we've mentioned them already, the event is named after them tonight, our new sponsor, Simply Catnip. Thank you very, very much to them. You'll see their cars going around piloted by Matt Hale and Chris Hanson this evening, but perfect weather conditions here at Daytona. The rain has not come yet in the form of iRacing simulation for that, so they don't need to worry about that this evening. And a big grid here this evening, Howard, in the lobby of over 30 drivers, which is once again really showing the strength in depth of this championship in its second full season.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Just one last thought before we get underway. Should we take a very quick look at our championship standings coming into tonight?
Absolutely. Let's have a look at that. So after round 1 of the season, surprisingly, the winner of round 1 is top of the table. Josh Ladd has 100 championship points already to his name. Michael Preston on 98. Patrick Pisquet made his debut a few weeks ago on the road course. He's there in third on 97. Steve Hicks on 96. Sam Sanders 95. And look out for Sanders tonight. He is a bit of a specialist around the ovals. He's got a very good I rating on the oval discipline. He's there in 5th place. Cameron Watson was another new driver to the series last time out. He's there in 6th place on 94. Mike Hart on 93, our front-wheel drive champion from last year. We'll see more front-wheel drive action next week, actually, when we go to Knock Hill for round 3 of the championship. Do make sure you've subscribed to the DDMM YouTube channel if you want to catch up with that, with all the notifications and all of that stuff. Carrying on with the order though, Chris Hanson, one of the Simply Catnip cars here tonight in the Simply Catnip 200. He's there in 8th place on 92 points. Tom Dix and Nathan Maximin wrapping out the top 10. Kirit Kalirai had a very good time in Class 2 a few weeks ago. He's your Class 2 leader at the moment in 11th place overall on 89. Ben Bennyworth is 12th. Murray Adams and Andrew Dawson also had strong nights in Class 2 in the GT3s last time out, there in the top 15 alongside Charlie Summers, Matt Hale, James Montgomery and David Whitehouse at the top half of the table, at least page 1 of the standings. But all to play for, as I say, carrying on the order, Quinton Thurad there in 19th, Luke Austin 20th, James Fremont, Roger Parry, Christopher Powell, Adrian Goodwin and Tom Kemping all inside the top 25 before tonight. JJ Aston, Matthew Whitefoot, Andrew Golby, Christopher Kirk and Alan Curtis in the top 30. I'm going to cut it off there, Howard, because I think we are about to get ready for the first race of the evening. But yeah, definitely all to play for still in the early stages of this season. Well, without further ado, here tonight at Daytona, practice is over. Let's get ready then for the first race, the first part of this, the Simply Catnip 200. Race 1 is coming up.
So as the cars head out for the first ever championship oval race in Club 100 iRacing, let's take you through the grid for this Simply Catnip 200 first race. Sam Sanders and Patrick Pisquet are the front row of the grid. Michael Preston and Christopher Powell next up, with Charlie Summers and Ian Allen behind. Steve Hicks, Matt Hale, Cameron Watson and Alex Mitchell round out your top 10. It'll be Murray Adams and James Montgomery on row number 6. Ed Keithley and Tom Dix are up next, with Chris Hanson and Matthew Whitefoot on row 8. Mike Hart and Paul Watson, Ben Bennyworth and Luke Austin round out your top 20. And then it's going to be Andrew Dawson, Peter O'Connor on row 11, Ian Sumner and James Fremont up next. And then it's Rodri Parry and Jay Elliott, JJ Aston and Chris Kirk on row 14, with Alan Curtis and Kirith Kalirai rounding out your top 30. Then it's David Whitehouse and Craig Brown. Alex Pakaleva, unfortunately, unable to make it for this evening's racing.
Well, here we go then. A step into something new for the main championship here in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship Round 2. This first part of the evening, of the racing evening, is a 25-lap sprint race. There shouldn't be any need for the drivers to take to pit lane for fuel strategy reasons. There will be some of that, though, in the second longer feature race later on this evening. And no Josh Ladd here this evening, so there will be a new championship leader at the end of proceedings here at Daytona. But here we go then, under starters orders, waiting for the green flag. We are away and racing, oval racing, for round 2 of the 2022 Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship. And it's a good start here in the Simply Catnip 200 for Sam Sanders. Michael Preston follows through on the low side in the number 19 for second place. Good start as well, Howard, for Charlie Summers there in the 35.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Great stuff there from Summers in the 35, up to third place there, and slotting in behind Sanders and Preston as they're on the backstretch for the first time of the round.
You see the Simply Catnip car piloted by Matt Hale there, another oval specialist, spends a lot of his time here in iRacing on the banked circuits. He's already up to 4th place and leading in Class 2 in the 333. Heading through the tri-oval in a racing capacity for the first time. That's 1 lap of 25 completed. Sam Sanders is going to be happy about this at the moment at the front of the field, and everyone's still running in this race. Although I say that, I think there's been a problem for Jay Elliott out there. He's currently, I think, stuck in the pit lane. I think he may have towed already. There is a lucky dog system in play tonight. So the lead car, or the first car in the standings that is a lap down, will get the opportunity to come round and regain their lap. There's Kirith Kalirai in the 999, the KFC car. A group already off the back here. Christopher Kirk in the 256 at the head of it. Back at the front, though, at the end of lap number 2. This has been a solid start for Sanders. Howard, how do you think he's going to be feeling at this stage?
Yeah, it's early days yet, but he's going to be enjoying this, being at the head of the field in the early stage of this one, and just trying to control it at the front. Good stuff so far.
Down the back straight they go. And oh, I think was someone tapping the wall there. Yes, there's trouble. There's trouble on the back straight. I think the 666 of Rodri Parry is involved. Will this be our first caution of the evening here on lap number 3? The number 44, the 044 of Luke Austin, is also involved. No, I think we keep green for now. The rules from race control is that it needs to be quite a sizable incident. Some 4 or 5 cars more involved in an incident for the yellow to come out. But no, we carry on then here on lap number 3.
No,
in fact, no, we are cautioned.
No,
we have pulled the caution out here. So there is Sam Sanders. He will be the leader And yes, the pace car is out on the back straight. Well, that'll be good news for the likes of Parry and Austin. I don't think they're going to fall off the lead lap, so I don't actually think there is going to be a lucky dog applied on this lap, as I think Jay Elliott is still in pit lane. But it's Sanders from Preston, Summers, Hale, Watson, Pishgay, Hicks, Adams, Ian Allen and Ed Keefley. That is your top 10 here on lap number 4. Lights out on the Ford pace car here. We are back, ready to go racing at Daytona. We'll be going on to lap 7 here with Sam Sanders leading the double file restart. Michael Preston to his right in the number 19 Demon Tweaks Team Southampton Motorsport car, waiting for the green flag. There it is, away we go, and racing once again here in the first race of the evening for the Simply Catnip 200. Looking clean so far. Here we are on board. I think this is on board with Matt Hale in 4th place, trying to make that highline work, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to see what opportunities are here off of the restart. In that 333, one of our Simply Catnip cars running in this Simply Catnip 200. Side by side with Charlie Summers there in the 35.
Who's made good progress so far. Well, I can see Murray Adams out there in the 210. You can see him on the high side with the sky blue, white and black livery, now going around the outside of the number 13. He's currently 2nd place in... Oh, there's a bit of trouble there for Ian Allen in the 998. He saved it. What a great save that was by Ian Allen in the 998. Just got a little bit too low in the tri-oval there, and 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2. Almost a little bit of door-to-door action there.
Yeah, and there was also a slight touch on the wall for Matthew Whitefoot as he went into the banking of turn 1, excuse me. So yeah, that was impressive stuff. That didn't result in an incident there in the mid-pack.
Alex Mitchell, the number 53, another one of our BUKC drivers. He's been very busy in that championship over the past couple of weeks. Continuing to be green here as we get to the end of lap number 8. We'll be a third of the way through this first race of the evening. And look at this great camera angle through turns 1 and 2, but it's still Sam Sanders from the University of East Anglia out front. Charlie Summers there in 2nd place. Cameron Watson has worked his way up to 3rd place now, and here comes Steve Hicks as well in the number 21, the Simpsons livery. A nod to the cartoon, of course, not Chris Simpson of Club 100 social media fame, but there it is. In 4th, or nearly 4th place, fighting with Michael Preston, 4P4 at the moment. Coming to complete another lap, 9 laps down, 16 to go, still running green here at Daytona. See Patrick Pishgay there in the good wrench number 13. He's having a solid race again here, Howard. It's been a strong start to the season for Patrick.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into tonight, as you know, he got a fantastic start in round 1, and of course on the front row as well for this opening race of the event. So really putting himself in good stead in the early stages of this championship, and shown that he's so far, at least, as
oh, big wreck, big wreck coming off of turn number 4. This will be a caution. Multiple cars involved, including Andrew Dawson, the number 23, the number 72 of James Fremont, the 143 of Alan Curtis is pretty banged up there. Now, thankfully, all these cars will have fast repairs. They will be able to come in and get back in the race. We will have a lucky dog on this one as well. I think it's going to be Ian Sumner, because he was a lap down at the point of the yellow coming out. Kirith Kalirai has come in, and pit lane is closed at the moment though, so these drivers will be forced to the back of the field, but that is quite a significant incident. That's the first really, that was the big one for the first time here tonight at Daytona.
So here we go again then. Lights are out on the pace car. It'll be Another restart with Sam Sanders at the head of the field after what was quite a sizable wreck. But everyone has been able to pit for the damage with the fast repairs on for this one. Pace car pulls into the pits, and now we are waiting for the flag to get us back underway again. And away we go again. Oh, and there's already an incident there for Chris Powell.
Yeah, we may be going straight back to caution on Luke Austin's on his roof. On his roof. I thought he was going to save it. He was doing a bit of a Terry Grant job for a second there. But Christopher Powell, I think, was the initial causer of the incident, or was at least the trigger of it. And, yeah, the car's checking up now. And I think we are going to go back to caution. Lucky dog this time is going to be Kirith Calirai. He made a bit of an error on the previous caution by coming in straight away. Probably would have been better going around and pitting on the second lap with that damage. But Sam Sanders continuing to lead. And this is a quite peculiar race for him. He's led every lap of the race so far, Howard. But he's still going to have a very sizable pack behind him. So here we are then. 4 laps to go after this one. Pace car is happy to come in, race control happy to get this one underway. This really is a sprint race now, but Sam Sanders still at the front of it. Cameron Watson in the gunmetal grey, number 48, will be on the outside for this restart. Charlie Summers on the inside in P3. Pace car pulls off, and once again we're racing here at Daytona. Who's going to take this first race of the evening? Great start once again from Sam Sanders. We've seen Kieran Calirai in the Colonel Sanders car get the wave around on that last one. Well, Sanders is in control of this race at the front as well in the form of that UEA kart. Good start also for Matt Hale in the white and pink Simply Catnip car there. He's already up to P4. Field stringing out behind, all of them wanting to get through this race without another caution. The outside lane, the high line, is it starting to form there? I can say the Pisco's trying to make it work with Watson, but at the moment they're losing to the low side with Hale now up to third.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully judged by Matt Hale. Can't forget, Andrew, that he did win the special event that we did on ovals in 2021, so definitely someone to keep an eye on, and the highest placed Class 2 runner at the moment.
Also great to see Paul Watson up there in the blue and pink Logitech entry, 380 in 7th place. Currently second in Class 2. Is there trouble back there for one of the cars? Couldn't quite make out who it was. Peter O'Connor is going to be off the back of the field, but we keep green. It was just a single car involved in that incident, and I thought we were 3 wide there down the back straight, but once again the low side winning out at the moment. Steve Hicks coming through now up into 4th place. Michael Preston suffering here. Howard is shuffled all the way back, I think, to 9th.
Yeah, that's not played off well there for Preston as they come around onto the tri-oval to finish another lap.
3 to go, including the one we're on. Looking back now from Steve Hicks. There is the Chevrolet front end of Charlie Summers. Apologies, that was on board with the leader, of course. Sam Sanders still at the front of this one, and there's a bit of a split, I think, there, back to 11th place or so. Maybe a bit further, actually, yeah, more back to where Ben Bennyworth is in 14th place. So you've got to think at this stage of the race, Howard, it's going to be one of these drivers who's going to take the win, and still Sam Sanders out front.
Yeah, absolutely. He's controlled this one throughout, hasn't he? But there's still opportunity here. Charlie Summers right in the slipstream. Oh, and we've got a slow car there.
I think it was Ian Allen. Ian Allen's had some problems out there and is out of the race. But we still keep going here. Sanders, Summers, Hale, Hicks, Watson, now your top 5. Paul Watson has driven really well in this first race. Great to see from a new driver to this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant stuff from him so far.
And this is the white flag. Sorry, Howard, this is the white flag. Lap number 25. Is Sam Sanders going to hold on for the first victory here tonight at Daytona? He's going to get a third of the job done here in the Simply Catnip 200 and across the line. A great win there for Sam Sanders ahead of Charlie Summers. Matt Hale, the top C2 driver, there in third. Fourth for Steve Hicks. Fifth for Paul Watson. James Montgomery in sixth, Patrick Pischke in seventh. The standard post-race shenanigans have begun. Cameron Watson eighth, Mike Hart ninth, Murray Adams in 10th, and Chris Hanson, Ed Keefley, Michael Preston, Ben Bennyworth and Matthew Whitewood take us down to 15th. Alex Mitchell, JJ Aston, David Whitehouse, Tom Dixon, James Fremont is your top 20. Rodri Parry, Craig Brown, Christopher Kirk and Christopher Powell ahead of Kirith Kelly Ryan 25th. Pointy O'Connor, Peter O'Connor in 26th, and drivers that had real big trouble in that last one. Andrew Dawson, Ian Sumner, Ian Allen, Luke Austin, Alan Curtis and Jay Elliott all finishing off the lead lap. A very impressive performance there, Howard, from Sam Sanders. Not easy leading from the front when there's quite a few cautions in play, and you know you've got to do all that hard work again, and I think he'll be happy with his work there in the 34.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that this was going to be a game of cautions tonight, and with plenty of restarts, but that doesn't make it any less impressive. That we knew that was going to be something that was going to have to be judged appropriately by the leader, and Sam Sanders did that with aplomb there.
Well, a great first race here at Daytona. If you're enjoying the coverage, do make sure that you've clicked that subscribe button for more here on DDMM, and do check out our sponsors and partners in the description below. Simply Catnip sponsoring the whole championship, and of course the named rights holder of the event tonight here at Daytona, the Simply Catnip 200. G3 Pro for their support as well, and CLUB100 and the BUKC. We're going to take a very short break and be back with the feature race. 55 laps to decide who's going to be the winner here of round 2 for the 2022 CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Cars heading out on their formation lap for the second part of the Simply Catnip 200. This is a partial reverse grid from the results on race 1. James Fremont in the number 072, the Mountain Dew car, will have pole position. Tom Dix will be alongside him on the front row. David Whitehouse and JJ Aston are there on row 2. Alex Mitchell and Matthew Whitefoot, two debutants on the third row of the grid there. Ben Bennyworth and Michael Preston form up row 4. Then it's Ed Keefley and Chris Hanson, followed by Murray Adams and Mike Hart. Cameron Watson and Patrick Pischke are next up. Then into the top 6 from race 1, James Montgomery and Paul Watson, Steve Hicks and Matt Hale on row 9, Charlie Summers and Sam Sanders on row 10. Rest of the grid forms like this: row 11, Rodri Parry and Craig Brown; row 12, Christopher Kirk and Kirith Kelly Rye; Peter O'Connor and Christopher Powell on row 13, Andrew Dawson and Alan Curtis on row 14, Ian Sumner and Ian Allen row 15. Luke Austin and Jay Elliott complete the 32 cars scheduled for this race. 16 on the 16th row of the grid. A mandatory pit stop part of the game here in this race. 55 laps scheduled for the drivers. Too far a distance to make it on one tank. And judging from the first race, we may have a caution or two along the way. This is going to be a very tactical affair. James Fremont in the 072. Brilliant performance a few weeks ago in the GT3s. What can he do here from P1 in the feature race? We'll go once again at Daytona for racing on the oval. Good solid start from everybody as we roll down into turn 1 and then turn 2. Too wide pretty much all the way through the field. Fremont holding on the inside. Dix on the outside, trying to make the high line work with JJ Aston in the 015. Good to see so far, Howard. Another solid start.
Yeah, absolutely. Another decent start there, and a good start from the front from James Fremont, absorbing all of this pressure in the early phases here.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. Was one of the regulars last year. Really did take a step up. He's got some new kit in his sim rig. He's made some improvements during the off-season. He's showing his skills. It'll be a real surprise package, I think, across the course of this season. We are on lap number 2. The drivers having that experience from race number 1. They're all aligned now as to how they need to race. David Whitehouse is still there on the inside as well, second car back in third. And Alex Mitchell doing well as well in the 53. We saw him having some good racing in the first race. As they come round the last of the big bankings, huge bankings here at Daytona. If you try to stay or stand on them and turn on the spot, you'll probably end up on your face. Even through here, with an 18-degree banking through the tri-oval, that's quite a high place as well. There have been a couple of cars in the pits. Just saw one of them rolling out there. It might have been Ian Sumner. Lucky Dog still in play in this race as well, but no need for it so far. We're still green here in the early stages of the feature.
Your pit callers as Craig Brown has gone to the pit lane. And Ian Allen may have been, Luke Austin, excuse me, I think has called into the pits. Oh, we're under caution.
Yep, we've gone under caution. There's been an accident out there. Just saw the yellow lights. So this stage of the race will probably be too early for any of these drivers to come into the pits. The pits are not open at the moment. Caution is out for the first time here in the feature race. Almost ready to go racing again here at Daytona. Howard, who did we see come into the pits on that last caution?
Steve Hicks, Sam Sanders, Matt Hale, Alan Curtis, they have all served their mandatory stop, as has Ian Sumner.
There we go.
Get ready to go again.
We'll see whether that has been a good move or not later in the race, but we are back to go green. Once again, Tom Dix will take us away from the front of the field. James Freeman on the outside now. Who can make the moves early here? We're on to lap number 8. Still in the first 20% of this race. A lot of racing to go here in the feature, but as we say, we have already started to see some drivers making their mandatory pit stop already. Good start again for Alex Mitchell. Is up to third place there in the number 53. The low side seeming to work a little bit better at this stage, but I think that's more because there's just not enough cars on the high side at the moment, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just the brute force on the low side, isn't there? Which is making it work.
Car number 96, Ben Bennyworth. Not seen much of Ben so far tonight, but there he is in the 96. He's running is it like a Tom and Jerry livery on there in the 96.
Nice. I appreciate it.
Another lap ticks by. We're on to lap number 9 now. Tom Dix is not unaccustomed to leading out front. A very well accomplished driver. Often see him when we visit Clay Pigeon down near Yeovil in the Dorset area for some Club 100 events. And nearly 3 wide there between Preston. Oh, it's a big incident into turn 3. Surely that is going to be a caution. Patrick Pischke took a big hit there. Paul Watson is involved as well. Christopher Powell is involved. Cameron Watson. This is going to be the second caution of this feature race, Howard, and that was a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge incident. Paul Watson, Peter O'Connor, Christopher Powell, Patrick Pischke, Ian Sumner, all definitely drivers involved in that, and I think there were a fair few others as well.
Well, the pace car will come out once more, pick up our race leader, which is Tom Dix. Drivers will be able to get back to pit lane, get fast prepared, which you wouldn't be able to do in real life, of course. This is the first time that we've run one of these oval races. We don't want to rule people out of it too early. But those racing at the front and racing quite calmly there, Howard, between the likes of Dix, Mitchell, Aston and Bennyworth. They're doing the job at the moment and keeping themselves in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Those drivers handling themselves well at the front. And yeah, just on the fast repairs, mate, it is important to acknowledge this is the first time we're doing this type of racing and the close quarter racing that you get with the oval discipline, which means that, yeah, we're just seeing fit to have fast repairs for now, just so people get to stay in the game and have fun out there.
Second caution of this feature race for the Simply Catnip 200 about to end. We'll be going on to lap 13. Tom Dix, P1 on the low side. Alex Mitchell on the outside, P2. Here we go again then. A number of drivers have made their stop, and look at Mitchell trying to get to the low side straight away. He does. Good move there from Mitchell. Holding on to P2 then. JJ Aston just behind. Michael Preston is in the mix now. He's looking to power through and has powered through. Really nicely done there from the Team Southampton driver up to third place. Ben Bennyworth still up there in fifth place. Chris Hanson in sixth. One of the Simply Catnip cars. James Fremont, who was our pole sitter, still there in the top 10. Quite a few Class 2 drivers at the moment, Howard, up in that top 10. David Whitehouse and Michael Whitefoot, apologies, being the other two.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this, though, the pressure that JJ Aston's putting on Michael Preston, going high through 3 and 4. But yeah, it was a good start from Alex Mitchell on the restart, as we've got a little bit of traffic there ahead of the field.
Yeah, Andrew Dawson's come out of nowhere. I think he'll just hold up for the main field to come underneath him. Yeah, that's good driving from Andrew Dawson, who's having a bit of a difficult night so far. He'll keep holding on the mega high line. Doesn't want to cause an incident. Looking further down the order.
Interestingly, though, JJ Aston decided to go a bit high there, and I think he's lost out a little bit there, Andrew. Ben Bennyworth.
Yeah, he did lose out to Ben Bennyworth. There he is in the 015. And I just caught a sight of Charlie Summers, the second of the two red cars in the line there. He's nicely made his way up the order in the 35, the Lightning McQueen livery.
Got to appreciate a good Lightning McQueen livery in this event.
Not the first time we've seen a Lightning McQueen livery, though, in a Club 100 competition. It's quite regularly run by the likes of Trevor Randall and Callum Brule in the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sports Series, and we are, fingers crossed, going to get that going again, but on Gran Turismo 7, so look out for that in the coming months on the Double Dash Motorsport Media DDMM YouTube channel. Do make sure you've subscribed and click the notification bell to be alerted to when that happens. Very close between, I think it was Paul Watson and Steve Hicks there in the middle of the pack. Alan Curtis to the outside trying to go through. Murray Adams and Christopher Kirk also side by side as we start another lap.
Yeah, absolutely. This is brilliant stuff, and this is why we wanted to try this format, mate. It is hair-raising stuff, lap after lap. It's really tight here. Paul Watson in the 380. Murray Adams in that 210, tucked in behind him.
Drivers have got to be patient, though. It's still a very long way in this race to go. We're nowhere near halfway, only on lap 16 out of 55. But everyone keeping it green and running, which is good to see. Just see Christopher Powell a little bit off the back of the pack there, just trying to hold in that slipstream. If you get isolated around this circuit, you're going to have a very, very long race out there. At the front, though, Howard, Tom Dix running fantastically.
Yeah, the pressure coming all the while from Alex Mitchell, who pulls out the slipstream. He's going to lose out a little bit as a result. But yeah, Tom Dix controlling this one.
And we've gone back to caution. We've gone back, sorry, Howard, we've gone back to caution. I thought by the engine notes there's been an incident off the back of the pack. So for the third time this evening here at Daytona, we are back under yellow. And there's Ben Bennyworth on the low side. He was involved in this one. He's got Ian Sumner there looking a bit battered and bruised. Patrick Pischke and Peter O'Connor involved also. Looks like we have had some retirements from the race also. Craig Brown, Luke Austin and Jay Elliott not circulating at the current time. These cars will probably have meatball flags, so they'll be coming in straight away to try and get those repaired. But we're under caution once again here at Daytona for round 2 of the 2022 CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. More action from the Simply Catnip 200 coming up.
We're still under halfway through this feature race as we get ready to go again with another restart that Tom Dix is going to have to absorb the pressure of. Alex Mitchell had a great restart last time. Can he slot down onto the low side and get into the slipstream of the leader just like last time? Here we go then. Pace car is in. And we're away again here at Daytona. They stream on to another restart, and it's a good start already from Michael Preston. He's been able to get past Alex Mitchell and up into second place on the restart.
Yeah, very good stuff once again from Michael Preston. We saw him do that on the previous restart. I think it was after caution number 3. He really is in the mood. Didn't have the best of races in race 1. We'll be looking to maximise points. Can be a bit of a lottery, these oval races. I feel if I'm Michael Preston right now, I'm thinking best place for me to be is up front, out of trouble, ticking the laps by, and making sure that I'm in it to win it come the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so successful in iRacing runs. You would have thought nothing less than for him to be competitive in this oval form of racing as well.
Down the back stretch they go. Looking a little bit further back. There's Matt Hale. With Ian Allen just ahead. And Steve Hicks in the number 21. Murray Adams in the number 20. So I think this is all drivers who've already made their mandatory pit stop. We saw that happen with Hicks and Hale earlier on in the race. Topped off the tanks. Trying to go on the long run. There's another group that's fallen off the back of the pack as well. See,
yep, here they are.
Peter O'Connor's at the head of it. I think Alan Curtis, Christopher Powell, Chris Kirk are all in there.
Yeah, good to see another little battle. These are all drivers, I think.
Oh, big crunch into the wall there. I think that was Ian Allen and Steve Hicks involved. Just the one car off, it is Ian Allen, and that's significant damage to the 998. He may struggle to get that back to the pits from there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a caution shown for that one, though, Andrew. As you say, that was at most a couple of cars in that one. The racing goes on, does it?
Yeah, it does indeed. Oh, having said that, I think I've just heard the engine tones go down. I think we may be under caution once more. So only a couple of laps,
yep.
And that's why there's been another incident off of turn 4. And that looks to be Patrick Pishke to me. Howard in a spot of bother. Oh, that's a very battered. Is that Christopher Kirk? Yes, it is. A lot of damage to 256.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. 256 with a lot of damage there. So there's been another incident here, and we are back under caution once again as we head towards the halfway stage in the feature race here at Daytona in the Simply Catnip 200.
Pit lane is open then in this caution, and we are very near the halfway stage of this race. And yes, we are going to see some significant pit lane activity. The leader peels in. There you see the stricken 998 of Ian Allen. Doesn't look like that's going to be going much further. And I'm hearing from race control that there may be a penalty for the 998 as well for changing lanes and blocking. But a lot of cars in the pits in this one. It'll be only a short little fill for all of the cars.
Notably, Preston stays out though, Andrew, so he inherits the lead behind the pace car at the moment.
Fremont's in there. Dix completes his pit stop. Aston's out as well. Alex Mitchell Cameron Watson, Charlie Summers, all have got their mandatory pit stop out the way. Now what and how has that shaken out? Well, Michael Preston, as we say, holds the lead. Paul Watson has stayed out as well. Kirith Kalirai is now up to third place. Matt Hale, though, Howard, we mentioned him earlier. Now, there is going to be a question on fuel, and has he got enough fuel to get to the end of the race? He's up in P4, though, at the moment.
Yeah, as we understand it, it took that mandatory stop early, and in a situation like that, it may have paid dividends for him, because he has got himself some really nice track position now going forward with into the second half of the race.
Well, the Simply Catnip team will be liking this in their home race, round 2 of the season. And Rodri Parry as well, just behind in the Gatorade 666. Drivers throwing the dice at this stage, and maybe that's the thing with there being quite a few cautions already in this race, Howard, and obviously we hope not, but it wouldn't be a massive surprise if we get a couple more before the end of this race, especially as we get to the real impact zone of this 55 lap feature this evening. You could eke out a few laps of fuel if you're behind safety car. That means you make this early strategy work.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see, but I think it's a safe bet, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I don't want to. You don't want to wish for it, as you say, but we know that this is a new discipline, or a less visited discipline for a lot of our drivers, and we've seen plenty of cautions so far. So it's an interesting strategic thing as Christopher Powell there. As the lucky dog goes past the field and will loop back round onto the back of the pack.
He does indeed. So we should be back underway and back to racing speed shortly. Might not be on this lap. The lights. Oh no, the lights on the safety car have come back on again. So yeah, so we're not going to be going this time around. Race control have said that they are going to be careful in terms of bringing the safety car back in, because obviously the lucky dog is going round at full race pace right now and needs to get back down to the slower speed behind the pace car. There is Christopher Powell. You see he's going to catch, but it might be one of those awkward ones where he just catches going through turn 4, and it wouldn't be fair to the rest of the field if he got the run of the universe to get himself onto the back of the field and then overtake them all in the tri-oval. So I think that's why we've got another pace lap out there.
Yeah, I feel we've already got enough factors to spice this one up without giving people that level of. You could be the lucky dog, but that's going it a bit. So round we go again, just to avoid that scenario.
So Michael Preston, when we get back underway, will be your race leader. There he is in the number 19. Class 2's Paul Watson in the 380 is on the outside. Matt Hale, very nicely positioned in the 333 in third place. Kirith Kalirai come into this as well. Started the season strongly. Isn't experienced in oval racing, but buoyed by that first round result, he's a real contender, I think, for Class 2 this season, even at this early stage. We are back next week, by the way, on the Wednesday night. Full live stream from Knock Hill here on iRacing. New circuit to iRacing and a new circuit to the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. And we'll also have 2 new cars as well, the Honda Civic Type R and the Hyundai Elantra. Both of the TCRs launched onto the game at the back end of 2021. They will be making their Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship debuts alongside the Audi RS3 LMS that we saw last season. So if you like your touring cars and you like Knock Hill, definitely tune in next week here on the DDMM YouTube channel for that. Make sure you've subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell, and given this video a like as well. It really does help us out here at DDMM. We should be ready to go though for this next restart. 25 laps to go then here at Daytona. Michael Preston has them under control and has got the great start that he was looking for. Once again, he's done that 3 times in a row now. It'll be unlikely that he breaks away because that's a big toe that he's giving to Paul Watson behind, but he's going to be trouble-free into turn 1.
Yeah, great start by Michael Preston there. That was the dream restart in many ways. I think that's the strongest one that we've seen thus far in this race. But as you say, the toe is going to be so strong, and already you can see Paul Watson is coming back at him here, and he's taking Kieran Cali-Rye along for the ride as well.
Matt Hale checking up to the outside, but there's more drama behind. There's a lot of cars spinning round. Mike Hart's involved in the number 11. Powell and Kirk as well. Andy Dawson's had more trouble. Alan Curtis has had another bit of trouble in the 143, and I wonder, will we be back under caution again, or are we going to keep that one rolling? We are going to keep it rolling. So Michael Preston continues to lead. To the outside now, Matt Hale. He talked about doing this in the lead up to this event tonight. He needs some help there on the high side to make the high side work. He may get some from Tom Dix and JJ Aston behind. Michael Preston has checked up to the inside now. No, yeah. Retakes the low line.
Yeah, I thought there was maybe an opening for Paul Watson there on the low line, but Michael Preston goes back down.
So he continued to run here. There are some cars off the back of the order. I think there's cars running out there with a bit of damage, but crucially still on the lead lap. Yeah, here they all are. There's only a couple in the pit lane at the moment, and Michael Preston continues to lead. But here comes Matt Hale in the 333. Andrew Dawson is just ahead of the field. He'll probably do what he did before, just check up high, let the field come underneath him through turns 3 and 4. Michael Preston trying to work out which lane to use. He goes low side again. Kieran Cali-Rye still holding in there as well, Howard. Really good to see that KFC car up in 3rd.
Yeah. Good job by Andrew Dawson there to stay out of the way of this as it all comes through.
James Montgomery off in the background there. I think got a bit of a shoulder charge from another one of the cars. And luckily, though, he is by the pit lane. He'll be able to get that back in, fast prepared, and back out on circuit. Should stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. He's staying with this main pack at the front, though. Brilliant stuff. This is, I think, getting on for one of the most sustained periods of battling at the front that we've had so far in this feature race. Once again, Matt Hale trying to lead the charge on the high side here, as it will be as they go into the banking at 3.
And he is getting some... Oh, as Tom Dix has a big moment there. Goes up the circuit, down again, gets it back under control. The high side's getting more help now in the shape of, I think that's Cameron Watson in the number 48. I get the feeling how they need more. They need 5 or 6 cars to get this high side really working and pushing ahead of Michael Preston and Paul Watson.
Yeah, this is where the real, strategy of this discipline starts to come in. It's like a really high-octane version of judging which queue is the best one to join at the post office, but way more exciting.
And,
that's Paul Watson with the contact.
Yeah, Paul Watson checking up and going a long way in. He's completely out of control. He needs to get that slowed down before he goes back up the circuit. Oh my goodness, big hit. Really, really big hit there from Paul Watson. And he's going to come to a stop. That is going to be another caution here at Daytona. But, yeah, that was a really big impact for Paul Watson. And once again, it looked like it was a changing lanes situation, which the drivers have been advised against. And unfortunately, on lap 35, we are once again back under yellow. Well, the pit lane is open once again. Let's see who takes the pit lane. And Preston's coming in. Right, so this is Michael Preston playing his card now. He's stayed out up till now. There's Paul Watson's car, which from race control I think has received a penalty. So he's going to be sat in the pit lane and put down a lap.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we assumed that maybe Michael had done an early stop. I think I don't know if I misspoke earlier, but yeah, this is him now coming in. He stayed out during the last one, and he's now taking, he's not the only one, is he? Got plenty of company here on the pit lane. Rodri Parry, Ben Bennyworth, Steve Hicks, all in at the moment, as is Mike Hart as well. Paul Watson, of course, there getting damage repaired.
Yeah, I think I saw Tom Dix was a fast repair, was in and out very, very quickly. And meanwhile, back at in fact, so quickly that he's out in the lead. So so Tom Dix back to the front of the order. Then has already led a few laps of this race. And apart from a bit of paint scratching here and there. Oh, and then I saw the back end of the car. That's.
So, are you sure he came in for a fast repair?
I think he's maybe just came in for a quick top up of fuel. But it has worked out that he leads this race. Alex Mitchell there in second place. Chris Hanson up to third again. So this race changes once more, and especially with that incident coming from the front end of the field, that has really shaken things up for the likes of Matt Hale, who's come back out in 13th. The real shame is Kirth Cali-Rai. Kirth Cali-Rai was running strongly up in the top 5. Now, can't even see him up in the top 20.
Yeah, it's worth noting that was the big aspect. I know it feels like we've had a fair few cautions already, but the key thing you've hit upon there, Andrew, as I think that's that Mike Hart,
yep.
I think, getting the
lucky dog
on this occasion. So he will come back, loop round, join the back of the pack. But yeah, the key one of that was from the highest up we've seen in the pack so far for the caution. So that one has really impacted on the races of some of those who thus far had sort of, you know, kept it clean and perhaps had more of a strategy at play. Matt Hale, can't help but mention him as I remind everyone, you know, our champion from when we did a special event, a non-championship event on OVALS last year. So he's not too shabby at this discipline, and he got involved in that, unfortunately, and he's now got to work out how he plays the rest of this one.
Well, the lucky dog in the form of Mike Hart, I think, is just joining the back end of the field, so we should be good to go. The lights on the pace car are out. Tom Dix back to the front then. Will take us from the front in this one. And there is the Me car, sponsored by me. I want to go fast. And Mike Hart has gone faster. That was a very good lucky dog. Got us back underway very nicely. Dix on the inside, Mitchell on the outside, Chris Hanson second in line on the low side in the 01, last year's Class 2 champion.
Another start with Alex Mitchell in second place, Andrew. Can he do as well as he has done on some of the restarts so far in this one?
Here we go then. We're into the final third of this feature race here at Daytona for the Simply Catnip 200. Green flag in the air and racing once again at Daytona. Away goes Tom Dix at the front of the field. Chris Hanson is already right on the gearbox of Tom Dix. He's going to push through and surely take second place as they roll into turn number 1. There's already a split behind, I think, is that James Montgomery, who has managed to keep himself on the lead lap after that incident earlier on in the race. And they're dropping. Who is that just behind it? Maybe Alan Curtis. But here we go then. Dix holding that low line. Mitchell, in fact, that's a brilliant run from Alex Mitchell. Alex Mitchell leads. Tom Dix in a bit of bother there. Has that damage cost him in a straight line? It may well have. But Alex Mitchell didn't get it done quite on the restart, Howard, but got it done on the back straight, and he will lead.
And Dix into the pit lane, Andrew. So whatever it is for Tom Dix, he's decided that it's time to come in and get some repairs to that.
Yeah, and Rodri Parry on the way in as well. Change the lead back the front once more. Chris Hanson to the front, and look at this. Sam Sanders has appeared out of nowhere. The winner of the sprint race earlier this evening in car number 34 is right there once again at the front of the field. This is a big move from the UEA driver.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, winner from round 1, and we've barely spoken about him so far in this one, but he's now right where he needs to be. Well, not quite where he needs to be, right? Because he'd quite like to be one place higher, but he'll happily sit in the slipstream for now. As is that Murray Adams looking for any opportunities going there. Pursuit of Cam Cameron Watson.
David Whitehouse quite up near the front of the order as well. He's in 4th place at the moment. There's a car on the low side, on the apron, sorry. That's Rodri Parry just recovering from his pit stop. Unfortunately, he's now going to be off the lead lap. Onto the back straight once more. Still Chris Hanson leading ahead of Sam Sanders, trying to work together to push away from Alex Mitchell and David Whitehouse behind. Cameron Watson again, Howard, just holding there nicely in P5. He's been a factor at the front end of the field for quite a lot of tonight's racing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always managed to be sort of there or thereabouts, which is not a bad thing. Where you, in a race of this length, where you kind of just want to have yourself in position to benefit as you enter the end game of the race.
Nobody really making a run on the high side, all the way back to Murray Adams is where you've got to go to find someone who is in the second lane. The aerodynamics, or the push effect from Sanders behind. You see, he's not actually making physical contact with Chris Hanson, but the pushing effect means that Hanson does gain a bit of pace. As was that someone having a bit of trouble behind? Yes, it was. Oh, there's another big incident there, and Callie Rye is involved. Bennyworth's involved. Dawson out there as well. I think Charlie Summers may be in trouble.
Yeah,
so
Keithley as well.
Yeah, I suspect this is going to be another caution. Michael Preston back out from his pit stop.
I think he's got through all of that unscathed, though, as the caution is definitely out at this point. Pit callers then: Matthew Whitefoot, Ed Keithley, Mike Hart, Charlie Summers, Ian Allen, Andrew Dawson, Chris Kirk and Ian Sutton. I think that's all of the people involved in that incident. So multiple cars, quite a few cars involved in that one.
Yeah, in terms of car count, that was pretty high. And we're on lap 42 now. The end is in sight for these drivers. But Chris Hanson continues out front in the Simply Catnip car, in the Simply Catnip 200. It's a good run so far for last year's Class 2 champion. If the race was to finish like this, Sam Sanders would be the round winner, of course, because he won the first race. Murray Adams, I can see peeling into the pits there. These drivers will be ones going for fuel and a bit of damage repair. Cameron Watson is in, or is on pit road as well. And anyone pitting now, Howard, will definitely get to the end of the race here on this fuel.
Absolutely. So James Fremont, Cameron Watson, Ben Bennyworth, Michael Preston in the pits again, and Steve Hicks. Those are all the cars in at the moment. Actually, no, it's not, because Christopher Powell is also in there. So plenty of action there. And as you say, Andrew, they will now comfortably get through to the end. They
will indeed. They'll just look to keep things nice and calm. Steve Hicks has had trouble tonight. There he goes in the Simpsons car. I've just seen the helmet. The helmet on Steve's car. I don't know if we could get an inside look at the helmet there, maybe on the gyro camera or the roll bar camera. But look at the... Oh, he always gives us a good one. Oh, we can't quite see what the helmet's looking like on a close-up there, but I'm pretty sure that is just a Simpsons face plastered. It almost looks like a Lego man in there. But there we go. Championship organiser having fun with it as always.
So we should be clear that if you were seeing all the stops then go, I thought, is that them all doing the mandatory stop? I'm hearing a few names that I thought had already stopped. Everybody has done their mandatory stop at this point. This is about strategically stopping when the opportunity is presented by a caution such as this.
Yeah, getting the car repaired. And drivers will get themselves back in an order. We're on lap number 44 now of this race. do you start getting a little bit twitchy maybe, Howard? If you're in Chris Hanson's situation, you can almost smell those last few laps now. You know, if we can get some clean running here, this could be it. This could be the run to the checkered flag. And as you say, we suspect everyone is good with fuel. The lights are out on the pace car, so we should be going green this time around.
I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you know with this type of racing that it's going to get... It's just going to keep on building and building as the light's back.
Yeah,
on,
oh, sorry, yeah, the lights
car.
are back on. I presume this is to get a lucky dog bite.
But, yeah, the way that it crescendos in this discipline means that it's very... well, I hope Chris has got slightly better nerves at the front of a pack like this than me, because I feel quite... I think it's very difficult not to feel very much like the hunted, and you know, everyone's going to be working together more and more as it builds towards the end. Right up until the point where they're not working together anymore, of course. And that is the lucky dog now. That's Andrew Dawson going by.
Yeah, so he should be good. I saw this with Mike Hart before. Going by at that point. We'll get around and comfortably rejoin the back of the field. By the time the whole field is back round again to the tri-oval, we should be going green, and yet the lights on the safety car are back out once again. Hanson, Sanders, Mitchell, Whitehouse, Hale, Aston. That is your order in the top 6 at the moment. And in particular, the names of Sanders and Hale up there, Howard. 2 experienced drivers in the oval discipline already. Alan Curtis as well, up in 7th place on board with him now. This is a really good run from the D&D wildcard driver.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some really good drives out there, and Alan's is certainly one of them so far. But I'm intrigued, Andrew. You know, we saw Michael Preston and Tom Dix were both pit callers in this caution.
Yeah, I think you're right, yep.
So how are they set for the run to the end? And there is still the possibility of yet more in the way of cautions. So absolutely plenty of permutations that could play out here.
Temperatures rising here in Florida at the Daytona International Speedway for round 2 of the 2022 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. There will be 10 laps to go here in the Simply Catnip 200. Chris Hanson will take us from first position. Sam Sanders is sitting in a good spot at the moment, 2nd place, having already taken the first part of this event, the first race, the 25 laps earlier on this evening. Are we good to go? Yes, we are. The pace car comes in and we're back on the green here at Daytona. Good start from Hanson. Alex Mitchell, this time on the low side. He's had to make it work from the outside on a couple of restarts tonight, but that's a really, really good one. He must have learned there from the experiences earlier in the race, Howard. He's holding on. Oh, there's a crash there between Whitehouse and Aston. Round they go, and that's going to cause a big incident. Piskay's involved, and that's going to be another caution, and I think that may have been a bit of changing lanes on the banking of turn number 1, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was... I think you identified the right 2 drivers there. There was definitely contact between Aston and Whitehouse going into turn 1 there. And, yeah, I'm not sure. I think there was a case of drivers running out of room there on the bottom towards the apron.
Well, that's a real shame for, I'd say, Hanson, Sanders and Mitchell. They all made really good starts there. And in the space of 2 corners, we're back under caution once again here at Daytona. All set to go racing once again then. 6 laps left here at Daytona for the Simply Catnip 200. On board with Matt Hale starting on the outside. There's a bit of drama towards the back already, but we're going to keep rolling here at Daytona. Chris Hanson leads off the front of the pack. Sam Sanders on the outside once again. He tried to make this work on the previous restart. Didn't really get much opportunity to see if the plan was going to go forth because of that last caution. 2 by 2 as they go through turn 2. It's Hanson, Mitchell, Sanders and Hale.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff once again off of the restart. Alex Mitchell has done some great restart. I don't think he's actually done a restart in the lead of this at any point, but he's been really good at not losing out too badly on the restart. But look at this on the high side now. Sam Sanders and Matt Hale trying to get the momentum to get by on Chris Hanson and Alex Mitchell, but the low side wins out that time around.
Now we're at that stage of the race, Howard, where drivers will now be thinking about the finish. If there is a caution on lap 54 or 55, we will get a green-white checker situation. So we do need to keep that in mind if there is another caution before the end of this race.
Yeah, breakaway group of 7 here, Andrew. It's Matthew Whitefoot, no, it's Kirith Kali-Rai actually at the head of the... No, sorry, Kali-Rai's on the back of this pack. You can see that pack further back with Matthew Whitefoot at the head of it.
Michael Preston has kept his car in good nick through the cautions and the fast repairs. He's there, 4th in line on the outside, 6th overall. I think there's a couple of drivers trying to nurse their cars through and hold track position. It's just not working at the moment because the severe level of aero damage will mean they'll be losing a lot of pace here and getting overtaken now. It is, I think it might be Whitefoot who's slipping backwards there, but still back out the front. And look at Sam Sanders, he's starting to make that high line work, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where the real strategy is coming into play, and Matt Hale, he's been a big fan of going along with the high side. He's trying to push Sam Sanders through wherever possible, and it is beginning to pay dividends for them. Sam Sanders to the front, and Matt Hale now overlapping, but now the low side starts to come back at them again, and Chris Hanson comes back to the front.
The two oval specialists trying to make the tactics work here. Great work going on just behind as well. Look at Murray Adams and Mike Hart. I think Tom Dix is in there as well. That's a trio. They're actually catching the leaders at the moment. They may come back into this. Here they are now going through turn 1 and turn 2. This is a fascinating finish. We're on lap number 53. And Chris Hanson still leads. Alex Mitchell there in 2nd place. Michael Preston now up to 3rd. Here comes the low side once again, pushing through.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, did that get a little bit loose there, though, as they were trying to bump through on the low side that time around.
Yeah,
together well.
They need to be careful here. We're really getting to the tight point of this race. That second group is still coming now, headed up by Mike Hart. Lap 54, 2 laps to go here at Daytona. On board with Matt Hale now, running in 5th place. Sam Sanders just ahead there in the UEA car on the outside. Charlie Summers is still in there as well in the Lightning McQueen car, number 35. Kirith Kali-Rai in the KFC car is still involved. Don't worry about Michael Preston. That was just him having a connection moment. And here again, once on the outside, Preston and Sanders working together. And it really is working together now. Preston gets down the inside onto the low side, takes the lead.
Brilliant judgment from Preston over the last few laps, Andrew. He was towards the very back of this pack and now finds himself at the front as we come into the crucial last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hanson. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kali-Rai's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running, though. It's not going to go on to caution now. On the last lap, it's 3 of them out front. It's Preston. It's Sanders. It's Summers. It's going to be one of these 3. Who's going to get the slipstreaming right now? Into turn 3 they go. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Preston at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael Preston in race 2 by 1/1000 of a second. What a finish. Michael Preston takes the win, but virtue of taking second place and first in the first race, Sam Sanders is going to be a points winner. What a finish, Howard.
Well, oh my goodness me. That was an absolutely spectacular finish. 1/1000th across the line. I'm glad we had timing to tell us that, mate, because I visually couldn't tell a thing between them. There's a bit of contact there towards the end, but it seemed it all seemed fair from my perspective. There was racing room given there, and goodness me, I mean, what a way to finish off our first round of oval racing. Preston does the donuts. Well, he might. That was one of the most, if not the most, heart in the mouth endings that we've seen to a Club 100 Series iRace.
Wow. Well, we had a very close finish here at Daytona just over 12 months ago in the Mazda MX-5s between Matthew Graham and Felix Connolly in a feature race, but it wasn't that close. And yet, just having it confirmed on our timing screens here in the box, Sam Sanders still takes the maximum points for the championship, and that's going to be the key thing really off tonight. But Michael Preston, how big could that be at the end of this season? Because Michael Preston, runner-up in the championship last year, takes the second race by 1/1000th of a second. A great spirit there as well from Charlie Summers, who was third by a absolutely mammoth 47,000ths of a second, as Michael Preston celebrates up with the fans up against the wall on the front stretch through the tri-oval. I've got to also mention, I think JJ Aston got through that melee going on to the last lap. He was somewhere down in about 15th place and finishes in 4th. I'd love to see the replay on that, because I think JJ Aston somehow managed to pick his way through all of that. There is your race result. Preston from Sanders by 1/1000th of a second. Summers half a tenth, well, not even that, back there in third. JJ Aston, the winner in the feature race for Class 2 in 4th place. James Montgomery, he had a really topsy-turvy race, finishes in 5th. Steve Hicks somehow finishes in 6th. Chris Hanson, even though he was spun out on that last lap, didn't get any damage. I think he just did a full 360, maybe a 720, gets back to 7th place. Mike Hart 8th, Cameron Watson 9th, Kirith Kali-Rai maybe a little bit disappointed in terms of he was right up there, but at least it's still second in Class 2 and a top 10. Murray Adams, Matt Hale, Alex Mitchell. You've got a feel for Hale and Mitchell. They were right up at the front towards the end of that race. Finished 12th and 13th. Tom Dix 14th. James Fremont 15th. Matthew Whitefoot in 16th. But I do believe there's an investigation revolving the 104 coming in there. Ed Keefley in the number 99. Patrick Pishke in the 13. That was your top 18 there. And then just running further down, Alan Curtis 19th, Christopher Kirk in 20th. Andrew Dawson had a rough night there, but we'll come back for more in round 3, I'm sure. 21st, David Whitehouse 22nd, Christopher Powell 23rd. Then the cars that really did have trouble, and I think all retired towards the end of that race. Ben Bennyworth 24th, Paul Watson, Roger Parry, Ian Allen, Ian Sumner, Peter Pointy O'Connor and Craig Brown all in the top 30, and quite early, in fact, did not start. For Luke Austin, Jay Elliott, they're the last of the 32 cars that we saw complete race 1. Wow, what a finish to that race, Howard. And that's one that will go down in history, the closest heat or individual race finish that we've ever seen in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. But it's congratulations to Sam Sanders, who I think I'm right in saying that is his first round win in this series, in a series that he first joined about 2/3 of the way through last season, and he's made quite an impact since.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And yeah, I've rather enjoyed the oval racing here in the club. Can we do it again sometime? That was a lot of fun, and yeah, wow, to have a finish that close on our very first championship outing with oval racing, I think is a real boon for the series. I'm thoroughly enjoyed that, and Yeah, gosh, we are in store for a really good championship all the way. I feel on this one. I've just got a good feeling about it.
Just had the provisional result in terms of the rounds. So the two races that we've seen tonight, the 25-lap sprint and then the 55-lap feature. Sam Sanders, as we've already stated, wins round 2 of the 2022 CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship with a 249 point score out of a possible 250. Charlie Summers takes second place on 243.5. Michael J. Preston finishes third. Tie breaks ahead of Steve Hicks, virtue of that victory in race 2. So Preston third, Hicks fourth, James Montgomery in fifth, Chris Hanson sixth, Cameron Watson, solid night for him in seventh place. Your Class 2 winner is the OVALS specialist, Matt Hale in 8th, ahead of Mike Hart in 9th. JJ Aston, I think we're not going to be able to show it on the stream tonight, but we'll definitely get it up on social media for you. I have confirmed has had the luckiest of lucky escapes, the great escape, parting the seas like Moses there to get 10th place in the end for the round. Murray Adams in 11th, more good points for Murray Adams that in the Class 2 battle. Patrick Pitchgay in 12th, Alex Mitchell 13th, Edward Keefley in 14th, Kiev Calirai 15th, Tom Dix, Paul Watson, James Fremont, Matthew Whitefoot and Ben Bennyworth, your top 20. All of those results will be issued to the drivers on the Facebook and Discord group. If you do want to get involved, if you've enjoyed watching the content tonight and you want to get involved in the racing, it's not too late to do so. We have got drop scores in this championship, and if you enter now, look for the details on Facebook, the Facebook group at C100 iRacing. Same name on Discord for the Discord server. Details are in the description. If you're a CLUB100, BUKC or British Pro Kart Endurance Championship BPEC driver, you can get involved. And great to see you on the grid. There is time to get involved for round 3 at Knock Hill, which will be next week as we're recording this. It'll be on the Wednesday night, the first Wednesday of March, the 2nd of March. Do get your entries in for that one. So say we're around Knock Hill, we're in the TCRs, and that should be a cracker.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's something completely different once again, but it's an equally compelling combination, isn't it? That touring cars around Knock Hill, that's going to be a lot of fun as well.
It is indeed. Well, we're going to wrap things up here at Daytona. We've had 2 rounds here at Daytona, both with very different disciplines so far this season. We had the GT3s in round 1. We've had the NASCARs on the oval tonight here in round 2. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've enjoyed the broadcast, do make sure you've clicked that subscribe button to us here at DDMM and got that notification bell selected and given this broadcast a thumbs up as well. We will be with Alpha Live this coming weekend, down at Buckmore Park for the start of the new CLUB100 Sprints Championship on the Sunday. Very much looking forward to that. But until then, thank you very much for joining us here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Do take care, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.